weather here, and I'm very enthusiastic about my topic.
Hello. Hello, Marco. Just so as everybody knows, Marco has a new toy, which he will tell us all about as I say, hello, Marco.
Hello, Steven. How are you and all the crew in the screen? It's so good to. I'm so happy today because after 19 years of not winning the championship here in Portugal, finally we got it. Look how proud I am.
Fantastic.
Today we had the game and it was the 32. I don't know how to say each the 32nd day of the championship. Okay, and till now we didn't lost any game. So it's still missing 2 games to end the season, and hopefully, well, next game will be against Benfica on their house. Let's see if we won this game as well. But hopefully we will make through the whole season without losing any game. Let's hope that. So and yes,
Fingers crossed.
yes. I bought this thing. It was kind of one of the gear I had on my bucket list, which is let me change the camera to show you better. Okay. Look
Yes.
how cute it is.
I love it. Yes.
It's a stream deck. And the good thing about this amazing device is that it saves you lots of time and you don't have to be looking for the button to push to change a scene, for instance. Okay, it's just
nice.
And the good thing is that on this deck I have scenes, and there remain 5 buttons which I will customize soon. And for instance, in this button I can customize it better. I can change and I go to the deck where I have sounds. Okay.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
And I have this integrated with other tools like OBS, where it's the place where I create the scenes, and also Voice Meter Banana, which is the place where you need to put the sounds together, microphone and these small sounds. Okay, so so you can bring this to your live shows or recorded videos. It was a long time I wanted to have this little toy, and now that I finally got him, I'm really excited because I can make more things than I ever thought. So this will bring more things to my live streams. For instance, when I do Amazon live shows, it allows me to show when I'm doing reviews and something to show in detail, just changing this scene, for instance, to this camera where I can show and people still see me, and I can show, for instance, this. By the way, this is an amazing mic. I will try it in a while. It's very small. Look how it is. It's usually a microphone for a cell phone. Look.
Yeah.
It has it seems that I'm doing a review. It has a magnetic thing here, and it's
nice.
another one here between the inside the case, and so you don't have to attach nothing. Okay, it's just glued.
Nice.
Okay, and it has an amazing sound. You will see you will listen in a while.
We'll hear you.
Yes. So I'm truly excited this week because there's so many good things.
Yeah.
And by the way,
fantastic.
yesterday I went to make my first photo shooting session, and I'm looking forward to see the end result because it was an amazing place. And let's see how it will be. So, hello, let's talk.
Hello, Marco.
Very good.
All good.
That's
All
Harper.
good.
And
Hello.
we welcome Harper back. Over to Scotland, and hello, Peter.
Hello. Oh, how are you doing? What do you want me to say?
Whatever.
Peter, we didn't rehearse this earlier. You can say anything you like.
I'm just wondering if Marco has a job. He's got all these gadgets to play. Do you make a living?
No,
He's
I'm
working. He's working right
I'm
now.
a thief. You know, I'm a thief.
Oh well, hey. Nice to see you all. Guten Abend. Guten Tag. Bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va?
Hello to everybody.
Muy bien.
Muy bien. Bom dia.
Yeah, very good. Muito bem.
Now let's be quick. I've introduced myself.
Right. Okay. And thank you, Peter. We move on over to the USA, and we say hello to our. We've only got 2 people from the USA today because Jim's off for 2 weeks. Hello, Maria.
Hi, I'm not the USA. That's okay. I'm from Canada. I know they want us part of them, but we're not there yet. Hold on the fort. Excuse me. Well, hello, bonjour à tous, and good morning from Canada. We speak both languages, French and English. I only speak English very well. I understand French, but not very well. This is my cappuccino I make, so don't mind me. I love my cappuccino in the morning. I actually ground the beans, and I mix some cinnamon and some other things with it, and ice cream, and it's such a lovely treat to have in the morning with a little bit of honey. And our weather here is lovely. So I have to say there's no snow because somebody said there was snow last week. I don't know who it was. Oh, yes, there you go. So anyways, hello from Canada, Ontario, Canada. Thank you.
Right. Back to the UK. Hello, Nick.
Oh, good afternoon, everybody. It's lovely to be here. I've got a quick question for Marco. Did you buy that machine from Amazon? And congratulations to your team. Well done.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Wonderful.
Okay, and definitely going to America this time. Hello, Harper.
Hello, good morning, guten morgen, and buenos dias. That's about all the Spanish I speak. We're nice and toasty over here. I live in Arizona, so it's American desert. To put it in European terms, today it's a high of 36. Tomorrow is a high of 38. So I'll be outside getting my son in. So nope, none of that.
Very good.
Not yet.
Right. So you've met everybody, and yesterday I suggested that we actually do, to get things going, we actually travel in a time machine and go back and ask a question of anybody individually or anybody as a group. And who would you choose? Why? And which 3 questions would you ask them? And I know Chris is raring to go. So Chris, it's over to you.
Okay. I will choose something very special. I will have the solution of one of the greatest mysteries in art history. And therefore, I need your time machine. And I need also another person to help me with that. And that's Chris Voss. I don't know if you know Chris Voss. Chris Voss is the former FBI agent who negotiates with hostages. A very special man, a brilliant man. And I am following his courses now. So I know that he can help me when we are both in such a time machine. And I will ask Arsène Goedertier. This is the person who has stolen a panel of the lamp gods the altarpiece in the St. Bav's Cathedral.
Oh.
And the panel is still missing. It's a great mystery. Here in Belgium, there are very much people who are searching for it, even it is stolen in 1943. That can tell. And I will ask him 3 questions before he dies. He is dead now. And that is, what are you passionate about? We know that's art. And then what is it about that makes you so passionate and that triggers you? Because we will see then some emotions. I think he has stolen that thing. And then it seems like you can solve the biggest mystery of the Belgian art history. And then, because he's a politician, he will have a podium. And I hope he will say, yes, and I know where it is. And then we have solved the problem. But to take the questions and to make very good questions, I need Chris Voss. So that there can nothing that I say that is not so good, and that we have indeed the solution of that mystery. So that's it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Right, now I have a choice. I can either go straight across or I can go down. Do I go to Portugal or Scotland? Who's smart?
Let's go to the Highlands from Scotland.
Okay, we'll go over to Peter. Who would you like to meet and talk to?
If we went back in time.
Mm.
Oh. I think
Because-
Adolf Hitler.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Let's
Yeah.
sit and say, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you up to? What did the Jewish people do to you? You know? And
Yeah,
just
trying to find the reasons.
yeah. What were you all about? What annoyed you? What little thing annoyed you that you had to do this? And why did you commit suicide? Why did you not face the music? Yeah. Left it to your henchmen to suffer the consequences. But I wouldn't have been able to say that, Tim, because we didn't know what was going to happen there, you know? But just amazing how he took over so easily, you know? And say, what's your plans? What's your main aim eventually? You know?
No, good questions, Peter.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yeah. Right, well, Mark, are you still thinking?
No, I already have my.
Good. Off you go.
Okay, my guest. I already sent him a Calendly link, so he can book a time. Leonardo da Vinci. I think it was one of the most amazing men the Earth ever known. And the first thing well, maybe the first, I don't know, maybe who cares? I think the first thing I will ask is, how are you? But going through the interview, I think the first thing is to ask, by the way, Leonard, what are you really? Because are you a painter? Are you an architect? Are you a war machine designer? Because he made so many things, so many projects. We think about Leonardo as an artist, but he had so few pieces, which is awkward, because usually we relate the amount of production to the quality we have. Usually people who are good in their field, they made so many things, they work hard. And Leonardo, he has, I think, around 10 famous paintings. So first,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, what are you after all? The second thing is, tell me your daily routine, because it should be to understand on that time, because by these days we freak out by how those gurus who said, okay, you need to wake up at 5:30 a.m. and then you need to wash your nose in the right side and then in the left side, and then you have to have breakfast, and then you have to wash your teeth, and then whatever. It would be funny to understand how Leonardo. I'm not sure that he had a table or a whiteboard. Okay, now
Yeah.
I have to do this and
Right.
this. And this one is, I think it's one of the for me, it's really important when we talk about creative people. I think there's something that almost all of them, if not all of them, have, is curiosity. So, Leonardo, how important it is for you to be curious? Because usually people say, "Oh, I'm not creative, I'm not this and that," but they are doing this like sitting in a chair very quietly without doing nothing, and then okay, they will get real, uh, comfort in a comfort zone without doing nothing, and then they hope that things just fell from the sky. And usually I like to say there's only two things that usually fell from the sky. One is rain, another one is bird poop. So yes. From Viana do Castelo, Portugal, heading back to our studio with Stephen Healy.
Thank you, Marco. Right, to give everybody a breather, I'll talk about my individual. I think that if I had the chance to speak to somebody from the past, then it wouldn't be somebody from England or Germany or Portugal or
I
Belgium.
know who it is.
It would be somebody from France.
Oh,
His name is, we all know his name. His name was Napoleon. And he came from Corsica. He wasn't French, not French.
Yeah.
Born in Corsica. He went to a military academy in France, and he went from the military academy to be Emperor of France. And his family, having conquered half of Europe, were the kings and queens of Europe. So it's an extraordinary story, and well, you couldn't see it being done now, hopefully. But I would like to ask him three questions, because he led the most interesting, powerful, and he could do anything he wanted, really, when he was Emperor of France. So three questions. When he was an army cadet, did he ever sense that he would become the Emperor of France? Was it an ambition of his to actually go on to lead the army to victory, and to become emperor? Because he was a designer.
Oh yeah.
He was, I mean, he had such extraordinary skills, which I'd like to talk about those too, but that's not a question. My second question would be, when he was exiled on Elba, how did he? Because he was totally defeated at that point. The British Navy, were guarding him. He wasn't no freedom at all. He was a prisoner on an island. How on earth, from a small island off the coast of France, did he manage to organise events so that he could land in San Rafael in the south of France, march the whole length of France, retake Paris? Just an amazing story. I would love to hear his take on it.
Wow.
And the third question I would have for him, as Emperor of France, he's responsible for so many things which are part of our everyday life, even though we don't realise it. He reformed how armies are trained and looked after. He designed the laws for France.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot of things which affect our daily lives now, and I would like to ask him all about that. So that's my person who I would love to interview. I've read all the books. I've read different books to get different outlooks, but it's a fascinating life, a fascinating story of a warrior who became an emperor, and that's mine. And who shall we go to next? Shall we go to Canada, Maria?
Sure. Oh my goodness, thank you. Well, you know what? You're so right, Stephen, and also you, Marco, that these are geniuses in history. And I would love to have sat down and understood what made them tick. But also the other thing, too, with Bonaparte is that he died alone. You know, like he had so much power, and he changed the world so much. But at the end, he died alone on the island, which is very, very sad. And you see that happening to all the great people of the world. Either they die or they get killed or whatever else. And as you were talking, Stephen and Marco, these are all, and also Chris, just wonderful people. And also, all of you. A lot of people came into my mind, like Julius Caesar, Nikola Tesla, Galileo Galilei. But one that I was actually listening to this morning on YouTube, he's called Ralph Munger, and he's the co-chair and co-founder of Berkshire Hathaway. And of course, I'm in business, so I was very interested for him to just, when he's talking about business. He's in his 80s now or 90s. He's still running that business with a partner, and he's such a simple man. But he said so many wonderful things about business. If I had met him when I was young, then I probably would have been able to create more wealth. I would have gone in a different direction because I was always interested in business. I was interested in the arts and always business on the side. I had those two loves that, of course, business has taken over now because it's more practical than the arts. And I would have asked him, okay, Ralph, what should I be doing? Like I was a great saver. I worked very hard to save my money, and I put myself through school. In my 20s, I went to Europe. As you know, I went to conservative music. But I would ask him, Ralph, okay, like I'm just starting out investing. I see myself going into becoming a multimillionaire. This is what I would like to see for myself. But you know what, everyone? No one even talked about that when I was growing up in the 50s. Who talked about multimillionaires? We didn't have the social media that we have now, Stephen, where we're exposed to all of this, right? I mean, like when I started my journey into business, really was in 1982, and we barely had the computer, and all we did was read books. And I remember I used to watch those commercials in the middle of the night where, like, The Giant Within, that was by Tony Robbins, and that book changed my life. I mean, I really started to look at life differently. And then I read a lot of books about business and all of that. But I mean, if I had started in my 20s or even in my teens, then I probably would have gotten a lot further, and my path would have gone in a different direction. So yeah, I mean, like just all of you mentioning these people, I mean, it's wonderful to bring back these memories. And thank you for that wonderful question. Thank you, Stephen. Very good. Thank you.
You're most welcome. And it's Harper's turn to answer. Harper, who would you like to talk to?
I thought we were going to go to Nick. I haven't.
No, I'm still thinking.
Remember, it's morning here in the U.S. So I'm still on my first cup of coffee.
Sorry.
Cheers.
So I'm kind of a history. Okay, I'm really a lot history buff, but I would be very interested to, and mind you, I have a very creative mind and stuff. So if you've ever seen anything about the forefathers, what we call our founding fathers here in the U.S., where 52 men were sitting in what is now called Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and they're literally writing and designing the Constitution. I, using Stephen's time machine, would have a chance to stand before them and ask them these three questions. Because over the years, I mean, we're a young country. We're only, not even 250 years old yet. But what was their idea, in their own words, for how the new country, how the future United States of America should run. Second question would be why do they feel it is so important to be able to protect ourselves? Basically, what we call our Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And then the third one is what is their opinion on foreign aid, whether it's money or military? So
Good questions.
I can talk for hours on this, so I won't.
Right. But they actually formed the United States as it is today, and the decisions they took then, especially about the Second Amendment,
Mm-hmm.
do you think they foresaw the consequences of what they said?
Say again.
Do you think they could have foretold how those amendments would be used?
I think they could, and I am in awe when it comes to what they put together over 200 years ago that still protects our country today from the type of government that what we see certain different politicians come in and out of office and what they want to try to do, but the Constitution still is relevant to it. And I think it's amazing that they had so much foresight that they made the Constitution the way it was, because I can't even conceive. I can't even think about how they could see that much, the future on what type of government would want to take over, and the importance of what we have as a nation. So, yeah, I think it's amazing. So,
Yeah.
Don't worry,
Well,
Sleepy Joe will be after your guns. He'll stop all that 200 years for you.
they'll never get rid of Americans' guns. You guys know how stubborn we are. So,
yeah. Oh no, that's part of your lifestyle. That's part of your lifestyle, right? And it's
Yeah.
in your DNA. It's in your DNA, and I can understand when I look at history why that has happened in the past. Because of the North and South,
Yep.
and not trusting each other. I think that's still today. I don't think that's ever changed, and I don't think it ever will. Quite frankly,
No, I don't think it will either.
no, it won't.
Right. We
Good
return to
thought.
the UK and to Nick. Nick, who would you like to talk to?
Oh, I'd like to talk to a few people and solve a little bit of a mystery from the village where I was brought up. And Harper, I'm 200 years is nothing, mate. I'm going back 800 years until probably the very first, one of the best bits of legislation that was founded back then. 1215, the signing of the Magna Carta. I would like to go and chat with King John and the barons.
Yes.
The mystery is, everyone says, oh yeah, it was signed in Runnymede. Well, if you've been brought up in Wraysbury, actually it was signed on Magna Carta Island, which is actually technically in Wraysbury, the village across the river from Runnymede. So we just need that written in, I feel, somewhere. So that's why I'd like to go and ask them why they decided where to actually sign it. And I'd ask King John why he was such an agitator and why he had such a big downer on the barons and the churches. I think it was pretty much all about money and power in those days. But then I'd actually like to ask who wrote the key piece. And I think I'm right in saying this is the first time it was written anywhere. And that gives the right of a man to a trial. They can't be imprisoned without their voice being heard. And that is like the cornerstone, I think, of our modern democracies. And I think I'd like to go and ask which one actually said it and put that in the Magna Carta, because it's a shame that we don't actually know exactly who that was.
Wow. Yeah.
History. Oh.
Yeah, I love history. I love history.
Me too. I'm an historian.
Endlessly fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, in Salisbury Cathedral, there is a copy of the Magna Carta which was made in 1215, and it's one of only 3 surviving copies of the original document, written out in script. So fascinating. Corinda, I don't know whether you saw that the question is, if you could talk to somebody from the past, who would it be?
This is
Corinda,
working too well.
Corinda, we can't hear
Can't hear
you.
you.
We can't hear you. We're getting a bit of interference.
Better install that crisp.
Yeah, or just stop, Crisp. It may not be using the correct microphone. It may have taken the wrong microphone. So, Corinda will come back to you. Okay.
Sure.
See this? It's Marco next, is it?
Mark, we've all been and gone.
I've actually met someone from the past that I wanted to meet.
Oh,
Hmm?
okay.
You
When I
go on
went
then.
back, when I went back to Berlin, this is a true story. I went back to my old barracks in Berlin, and just down the corner from it, there's a little pub, just in the corner pub.
Mm-hmm.
And Sheila and I went in, and I started taking pictures. And the locals were looking at it and said, "Why are you taking pictures?" So I used to drink here many years ago, couple of drinks, because my barracks was up there.
Mhm.
Oh, you were tank soldier? I said, yeah, that's right. And then this guy come up and he found out, and there's a few of them worked there, and he come up and he says, "I heard you were at the barracks." I says, "That's right." He says, "I worked there. I worked there." I said, "What did you do?" He says, "I was a cook." I says, "I've been wanting to meet you." "Oh, really?" I says, "Yeah. See, since I met you, my stomach's never been the same."
Good sense of humor.
And I said, "That is a
Oh,
true
dear.
story." I tried to say that.
Excellent. Good one.
Right.
That
We hope-
tickled me.
We hope Corinda gets his microphone sorted out and comes back. One of the things about software is you've got to test it first before you bring it live, and we all know that from experience. I was talking yesterday about, because Peter knows this, and you all know it, that I forget to switch my microphone back on. So in terms of broadcasting, and we'll switch to broadcasting for a moment, what have been the mistakes that you've made whilst you've been broadcasting? Be
Funny.
honest.
Who's first?
Any Harper
Harper?
raised his hand.
I'll go. My first, I mean, I've been doing Facebook Live for the last 5 years or whatever, 6 years, but that was just on a phone and not real, I mean, it was just going live, but that wasn't really, like this kind of setup where you got the camera, you got the microphone, you got all that stuff. My first modern day, I'll say last year, going live on Be Live, I was doing my car therapy show out in my garage. And the problem I have is that, like right now, with the garage doors closed and everything else, my garage is about 102. So it's about 38 degrees Celsius in my garage. And it gets so hot here, I actually have an air conditioner in my garage. But the only problem is trying to do a live broadcast with the air conditioner going right there. It wouldn't really happen. I mean, now that I have Crisp, it probably would work. But so I mean, I had a guest. We were sitting there and we had a 20-minute broadcast, got done, shared it, and there was no sound. So we went back, tried it again, and of course we missed some of the stuff that we had already talked about. We were like going, okay, did we mention that one again or not? But I mean, it's just part of the fun, and it's just And then my second time, no, in fact, that was actually my second program. My first one going live was I had this set up. I was at a racetrack in the middle of the desert. I live in the middle of the desert, but I was even further out where our drag strip is. And I was going live. The races started happening, was going to go at 9:00 our time. So at 8:00, I got my computer set up. I got everything in, and I wanted to kind of go around and everybody getting their cars ready, eating their breakfast, stuff like that. Before 9:00 in the morning, my phone overheated. My laptop overheated. We hadn't even started a race, and I'm already having equipment problems. So that's just that's part of the par for the course. You know, I mean, it's so I always tell people it's like you can't have a worse start than I did, and I'm still here.
Yeah. Good for you. Kudos. Sign of courage. You should get a badge of courage.
I don't know about courage, but it's stubbornness.
Yeah. Stephen should give us badges for how we've moved along, all of us, I would think, right? Because Stephen, I guess, have we all met on Be Live? I mean, is that how we've met each other, is on Be Live, Stephen?
Yeah, I think we were all Be Live related.
Cool, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't all broadcast from there now, but that's where it all began.
Yeah. Wow, eh?
Well,
That,
actually, Stephen was there at the first one of my first broadcasts with a guest at record. Nothing wrong with equipment, stuff wrong with his equipment, but there was stuff wrong with him because he was doped up to the eyeballs. And he sat there, and he says to me, he says, "Is everybody watching this?" And I went, "Yeah, the world." And Stephen will remember how hard it was, and he just didn't take it serious at all. And he's like that, you know. He runs a comedy club, but he's not a comedian.
That made for a very interesting broadcast because you were trying to get sense out of him, and he couldn't understand what you were saying. It was just totally, and you can't push him away because he's a good friend, isn't he, Peter?
Yeah, you know him quite well. Yeah, very clever man. When he told me how much wages he got with his business at a comedy club, I was sick. But now he's got nothing. The government haven't given him any money.
oh.
Yeah.
But then the next thing, he's popped up with a little bubble type car sponsored by a local garage, and he was one of the guests I had on too. And he's got a car from him sponsored. And it's amazing. I'll tell you one thing about the whole pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
The way people have survived.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, they've adapted and everything, you know. And likes a 4 network, and it basically lost everything overnight. So he just had to do it online instead. He built up his online, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I mean, anybody who did events like Business Over Breakfast, which is a large UK network for business people meeting in the morning. What the 4N network, which is going for a number of years, and their business just disappeared. And I know friends who organise events as well, and it just went overnight, and there's nothing they could do, nothing they could claim. But hopefully, from next week, it'll be back again. All things
can I
being
just
equal.
congratulate a couple of people while I'm here?
Go ahead.
Right. The first one is Stephen. Did you buy a new iPhone or a second-hand one?
I haven't touched an iPhone yet. I've been too busy.
What did you use to walk in the streets today and the other day?
Oh, right. Okay. Now you're after a story. Now you can have a story.
Right.
Thank you for the lead in. I wanted to go walkabout in Devisors, and Chris has seen the videos. And
Yes, I have seen it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go live from my phone, which is a Samsung, and I wanted to go live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube all at one go. And I found a way of doing it. And I can now go live just by going to my phone, going to the camera application on my phone, press a button, and I'm live on all those networks.
Wow.
And it just works so seamlessly. So I've been out. I was out on Monday, walking around the local estate and down to town. Earlier today, I went out. I needed some fresh air because I'm getting steps at the same time. I'm actually walking, which is good. And I went along the canal today. And I got so carried away that I did not notice that the battery on my phone just went down. The phone switched off. And I've got my glasses on and I can't see the phone screen. So I'm holding the gimbal. I've got the phone out in front of me and I'm talking away. But it wasn't going anywhere. I had to watch the end of the video to decide where I'm going to start my next walk. But it works so seamlessly. It's done through Switchboard Live, which both Nick and I have, and switchboard.live. And basically what it is, you can set up a group of destinations. So in this case, 2 Facebook accounts, Twitter and YouTube, and my website. It was live on the website too. All courtesy of Switchboard Live. You set it up, you say, do this automatically, and then you phone in and it takes your phone signal and transmits it everywhere you've told it to. And when my battery died, I thought, oh no, what's happening here? The Facebook video was perfect. The Twitter video was perfect. The YouTube video was perfect. And everything worked out. So kudos to Switchboard Live, because it's fault. It even works when your battery goes dead.
Oh, wow.
And
That.
Wow.
advance notice at 1 p.m. in the UK, at 8 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. in Belgium, and slightly different in Arizona. But on Sunday,
5:30 in the morning.
if you say 8 a.m. Eastern, then everybody knows what we're talking about. We will be live. Angelica and I will be live from Stonehenge.
That's
Oh my goodness.
I don't need to be near a computer to do it. I can just press the button. As long as I've got a 4G signal, I'm good. So that's my. Well,
Wow.
I really enjoy doing
actually thought it was a Be Live beta. Did I not hear you say that you're maybe going to be buying an iPhone or something at one stage?
I did say that last week. But I'm so wrapped up in going live on mobile phones, playing music on a Friday, that going live in the Be Live group yesterday.
Well, I can say,
Time's the problem, Peter.
I can say that it was a beautiful picture, but what a boring place. No, I'm only joking.
It was a beautiful place.
You know what I'm like? No,
Oh, wonderful.
the second one I'd like to say, Nick, wow, did you not have get a lot of subscribers? You got subscribers, 450, is it?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, 450 subscribers to the channel, YouTube channel now, and
Good.
can't remember how many 10,000 views, I think, something like that.
Wow.
Yes. No, luckily, a little tune reminded me, and I've got two uploads to have done 50 videos, but yeah, no, it's going, and big old shout out to Owen that's driving me, making me very accountable, and
Right.
and yeah, it's getting, the videos are getting better, and yeah, it's going really well. Thank you, Peter. I really appreciate that.
Nice.
Nick,
Nice.
I've got to say it was very well presented. How many takes did you take for it? How many takes did you have?
Oh no, I'm such a cheat. I'm a cheat. I'm the world's worst at remembering lines and stuff. So I script it. I just shoot it pretty much line by line, and then just edit.
Oh,
So it's like it's quite a quick process.
It came across very professional. I've got to tell you that. If you haven't seen it, suggest you go and share it as well.
Yeah, share your channel with us. On our Facebook Messenger. Please share your channels. I'll subscribe. And subscribe to mine, please. Love to see your stuff. Absolutely, all of you, please.
Well, in that case, I'll drop it in the links below later.
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
And I'll subscribe and smash that like button.
Smash it. I don't even. I tell you, it's so funny. I don't even ask people to do that at the moment.
Yeah.
Such an amateur.
Yes, we're all learning.
All we need to do is comment in each other's platforms. Is that right, Stephen?
It is, yeah. Again, this was in the video that I did yesterday, which I enjoyed doing. Peter was there live. We've got a problem insofar as when we post in a Facebook group, Facebook says, okay, who are you?
Mhm.
And it posts it and it gives it a 0 reach. So when you post something, it gets a 0 reach in a group, which means that even if the group has got 25,000 members, nobody's going to see it because it's got a 0 reach. The reach is the number of people who could possibly see the post that you made in their timeline. And if it's 0, that's nobody.
Yeah.
So the tip I gave yesterday was that if you post in a group, make your own comment. First of all, it's checking who comments, it's checking that people have commented. Because what they want before they will raise it from 0 to something else is some form of interaction. Now, a like is good, but a comment is better.
Yes.
So wherever I can now, I always comment on my own post. Why not? I always comment on posts from that friends have made, wherever they are. I mean, we've got into a routine, and I'm as guilty as everybody here. Okay, in that by reading something on the internet, we think we've actually been interactive, and over 90% of the time we aren't. We think, oh, that's good. Give it a tick and move on. Whereas if we said, thank you for posting this, it's very interesting, because then we get a higher profile. The person who posted it knows that it's been read and liked and commented on, and you're actually networking. And the more networking you can do, the more people will benefit. So don't just walk on by, put a comment.
That's a song.
I agree.
It says, I'm trying to get a list of songs I can do. This is a true story. I've got the music show on Mixcloud, which I enjoy doing. But Peter was kind enough to sponsor the show.
Oh.
And
Nice.
I bought a CD of 60s hits, but unbeknownst to Peter, at the same time, I hope you've all heard of him, I bought a Frank Sinatra CD.
Wow.
Now, I played 3 Frank Sinatra tracks last Friday. It was absolutely brilliant. I would love to have seen Peter's response. I got it in writing, but I would love to have seen the look on your face.
Fantastic. Wow. Well, all these wonderful ways of streaming, right? I mean, like the world, like since I joined this group, the whole world has opened up to me about streaming. And, you know, you're talking about the switchboard and you're talking about crisp. I don't even know what it is, but I'm going to look at, look what that is later on. And, you know, the Restream and all these other wonderful things, and Marco with Amazon, like my whole world is opening up, and it's very, very exciting. Very, very exciting.
Yeah, it's quite amazing, because I'm suffering information overload. I want to do this and I want to do that. I want to do this. But I told you last night, I was speaking to a guy that has built quite a big business with his low-fat keto, right? And he's doing extraordinarily well with it. And he was turned to drink a few years ago. And you know what changed him? His wife died and everything, young family. Do you know what changed him?
No.
The book called The Secret. Who's read it?
Yes.
I'm starting to watch a film. Did it make any impression on you?
Yeah.
Huge.
Really?
Huge.
Tell me about it.
I'd go further back, actually, Peter, and say, I've always got it here somewhere. It's up there. Everything will fall off. But Wallace Wattles' The Science of Getting Rich was kind of like that was that Rhonda Byrne was studying when she then created The Secret. And because a friend of mine was on the course with her, so that's when I got that nugget of information. And the crazy thing is, though, Peter, it's like I'd read The Secret. I bought it for my wife when it came out, 2006, something like that. And I remember I used it on the plane because I knew I was flying from Germany to London. I knew this meeting was going to be a nightmare, and I read it, and it picked me up so much that actually the meeting wasn't a nightmare at all. Totally owned it, flew back home, happy bunny. And if I hadn't just picked it up and said, sorry darling, can I just borrow this book, I've got nothing to read, I'd have been traveling and it had just been on my mind, and that downward spiral. And it goes back to whatever, if you think about it and you're clear, then what's the worst going to happen? Nothing. So
Because one bit
just
of
gave me a big perspective checkup.
Yeah, I watch the film. I prefer to watch films that, and it reminded me when I was a young guy that everything I wrote down at age 14 came true by age 27. Guess what? I never wrote it down again. That's why I'm floating in the flotsam of life. And quite scary.
There you go.
I got the rich.
Oh, wait.
I read
Tell you,
that.
it is never far from me. Never far from me. It's absolutely brilliant
Is
book.
that the secret?
No,
Is that the book?
that's the one, Wallace Wattles book. So that was the one that they were studying, and then they created the secret from the book.
You see, to
But
be honest, I don't want to be rich. I just want to be happy. Comfortable.
no. Yeah. No. That's not about being mega wealthy. It's just having enough for your needs and being able to live the life on your terms. It's not all about money. It's about a richness of life as well.
Yes.
So it's a slightly confusing, but it's a stunning. But I would recommend anyone to read that. And The Secret. And I watched The Secret film 4 weeks ago on Netflix. So,
On Netflix, yeah. I've seen this guy Bob Proctor quite a lot. I've seen him, and he's on it. I'm going, who are you?
he is.
Who are you?
I know he's spamming my inbox at the moment.
Oh, yeah. They all are. They all are since last year. Doesn't stop.
On that note, Tony Robbins is doing free webinars this week because he can't go out and meet people.
Yes.
He's got free webinars, and Angelica's been watching and listening to them, just to get a lift. And I think we all need that sometimes.
Sure.
Some people call it to pick up the backside, but in actual fact, it's to lift your spirits. And if something resonates with you, if you agree with something, you go off and you actually take action. Yeah.
Yes.
And talking of taking action, we are live on Amazon next week. And
yes. Yay!
What are we talking about?
Yeah, that's important.
Yes, it is very important.
So, Marco,
What will we be talking about next week on Amazon Live?
micro.
We'll be talking about microphones and how to take them off of mute.
Buy some new ones, right, Harper?
He borrowed Corinda's microphone.
It's new technology. I mean,
Yeah.
Let me call on.
Now,
Yes.
Yeah, loud and clear.
friends, last week at the end of the show, I've told you what we're gonna talk in 15 days.
Okay.
My fault.
Holidays.
Forget it.
I got it right here.
Holiday.
So it was pick 3 things you will carry to your holidays. Okay.
Yep.
And I will share a sheet so you can put there. I'm gonna ask you to do differently this week. I hope you follow my instructions, so it will be easier for me to insert the products, and we will talk about how important those things are when you go in holidays. This time it will be a little shorter because the other week it was too many things to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Marco.
I'm talking. By the way, I'm talking to this little microphone.
Okay.
all right. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes. Excellent.
It's for cell phone, but you can use it as well to computer. You just have
I love it.
to have
Did you buy anything after our show?
Yeah, I'm curious to know if you sold anything.
not that much. It was to be honest. Next time, if you want to share on your because we had it was in matters of views. It was a very shy show.
All right. First time.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I
I don't know why, but yes, it was a little bit shy. So if you want to share it before we go live, thank you so much.
I was going to say, how do you promote it, Marco?
Well, what we can do, I'm gonna schedule, for instance, Monday.
Mhm.
Okay, and then I can share with you the link
Mhm.
in the group, and then you can spread the word.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Love to do that.
It's
And
also
maybe
yeah.
Stephen, maybe for this show also, if you can share us, if you can share us the link, then I can share in my groups also.
I did put the
Yeah,
Facebook link.
There was a Facebook link, yes. I have shared it to one friend of mine.
Okay, all right then.
It's giving them a
We
reason
are
to come, isn't it?
Mhm.
yeah we are broadcasting a little differently today. In other words, the
Okay.
Restream is only going to one Facebook page. Okay,
Okay.
because
Okay.
because today we've been live on the website, which means we've been using Switchboard Live, and Switchboard Live, as we know, as soon as you press the button, which I did, as soon as we went live at Restream, we were live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and 2 Facebook pages. So that happened automatically. But it does mean one thing, that we have no idea how many live viewers we have.
Mhm.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
the
Yeah.
number that we've been seeing is just from the Restream link. It's not from anything Switchboard has done. So I'll
Mhm.
give you an
Yeah.
idea next week. But people do watch us. But I mean, we have so much fun doing this. That's,
I don't
you
care.
know,
I don't
I mean,
care.
By the way,
the
folks,
win
it
for
was
us is
great
actually getting
It's
by
together.
just it's just curiosity, Stephen.
Yeah.
Just curiosity, just to know. But I don't worry about the numbers, because what I find when I do my shows is that they don't necessarily watch it when it's live. They watch
Yeah.
it afterwards. And
Oh, yeah.
if and I can put it on Facebook, and I can put it on YouTube using Be Live TV simultaneously, right? I find that they'll watch afterwards. And I remember when you started talking about all of this, Stephen, 3 years ago, you said, don't feel disheartened if they're not watching the very moment you're streaming, but
Yeah.
afterwards. I always remembered you telling me that. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I
And what I
Talking,
find is I have to keep what I do, because the shows all have to do with real estate or business. I just recirculate them again after a month or 2 months. They go out again, the same show, and more people watch it because they didn't see it the first time.
Mhm.
So like I have 109. Listen to this. I have 192 videos on my channel. I only have
Wow.
428 people that have subscribed, but I have had over 14,000 people watching in 1 year. Because
Yeah.
so it's growing, but it's such a specialized topic. So it's
Yeah.
only for certain people, and they have to find me and they have to get to know me. I think that just takes time, like everything else. It just takes time.
And it's
Yeah.
just like that secret again, the law of attraction.
Yes. Yes.
Again,
Absolutely.
can we rename that, Peter? Can we rename it to serendipity, which has been with us since forever?
surrender, it's too big a word. How do you spell it?
And
No,
it's
next
and
time
then
I do spell
okay. Now, just this is advance warning. I'm using one stream tonight, which means I will be broadcasting a recording
Okay.
in 15 different places.
Oh
So
my.
I'm not live again today. Okay,
Okay.
I'm just saying
Okay.
it's a recording.
No.
You will be dead.
I thought this going,
Goodness.
you repeat shows and I go, is he live just now and try to speak to you? It's very,
Well,
yeah.
time shifting again, you see.
Can
Yeah.
I
That's
ask
what's going
what
on.
15 place? Can I ask Stephen? Because this is this intrigues me. What 15 places are you streaming your events tonight? Oh,
I've got
right?
I've got nine on Facebook,
Okay.
including 3 groups, 6 pages, and my own profile.
Mhm.
I've got 2 YouTube accounts. I've got a Twitter account, and I've got a Twitch account. And altogether, the
Yeah.
mix comes to
Wow.
around 15.
Wow. And are you finding Twitch has worked for you? Have you found that Twitch has worked for you?
Well, put it this way: I'm going to Twitter. It's great for getting a blog. If I write a blog
Mhm.
and I promote it on Twitter, and I do that just 2 or 3 different tweets, different titles, then people will come and read the blog.
Yes.
It works that way. It works for broadcasting. As far as the conversations, and I'm willing to hear people who do have conversations on Twitter still. I've not had one for ages apart from with Chris.
Yeah.
I think Chris
I'm with
on
Vic.
Twitter, I think.
I don't use Twitter much from a business account, but I done it today,
Mhm.
and I just there's a new thing with glue boards, so I made a comment that says, "Oh, good to hear." It's all I said, and then the Press magazine got back to me and said, "Could you do a 700-worded article about your experience
Wow.
in that?" So once that's done, I'll tweet it out and I'll put it in Facebook and things like that. And then the bank got in touch with me today, and I thought, "Oh no, they're wanting their money back." But no, they want to promote me on a television
Oh,
in the branch.
fantastic.
cool.
Fantastic. Good for you.
But you know, I'm a humble man. It's not going to be me. It's going to be my old age employee, my Malaysian Indian guy with his mask on, his COVID badge, and
Yeah.
it's going, and the words are protecting you from COVID and pests.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a writer.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good for
That
you.
COVID is a bit of a pest, to be honest.
Oh,
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes.
So, so, but you just never know where it's coming from, do you?
No.
No.
No. That's the problem. That's the problem.
So,
Very scary.
serendipity. As we come to the end of the broadcast, tradition says,
Oh dear.
Hola Marco, over to you.
Well, so we will meet again next week at same time at almost the same places, not in 200 different places like Stephen. But we will bring again joy, fun,
Yeah.
sharing experience, and each one of us will share 3 things which they don't can live. They can't live when we go to holidays. So stay tuned because I'm pretty sure this would be awesome. Até para a semana.
Yes.
See you next week. Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Keep safe, everyone.